Okay, let's get this started. Good to see everybody. It's Andrew back again. Another live unboxing here on the channel. Today we have a good one. We have the ASUS ROG Zephyrus G16 updated with the Ryzen AI processor, the Ryzen AI 9 HX370 to be specific. We got the RTX 4070 in this one. Now, this is the Intel version on top right here, the one I already reviewed. I left a link to my review in the description below. In addition to the ASUS ProArt P16, which is, I think, apropos for here because that one is geared towards content creators, but brings a lot of the same kind of features to the table that this does. But of course, there are some key differences we'll get into in this live stream. And of course, the upcoming review on this. Now, this one had the 4090, so just keep that in mind. They never sent me the one with the 4070. I think this one also had the third fan. I don't know what's inside this one. My guess is the two fans because this has a 4070, not the higher 4090 on this one. So it gets a little confusing, I know. Some people said that third fan made some extra noise or whatever, but they needed the extra fan, I guess, to cool things down. So we'll have to see. But looks like we have a good one here today. We have a good turnout so far. A little impromptu here as I'm trying to roll these unboxings, these reviews out the door, and this certainly helps out because I am recording all this. So hopefully we'll have a good turnout, have some fun for an hour or so as we get this out of the box and see what Zen 5 brings to the table. I've been very impressed so far with the Ryzen AI processors. We saw the ZenBook S16 that we looked at. We looked at the ProArt PX13, the ProArt P16, and now, of course, we're going to get this updated ROG Zephyrus G16. Yeah, so let's put it over here for a second. Let's say hello to a few people as people are still filing in. So I want to get some more people in before we get things underway. According to PM, he waited for the G16, the 605A. This is the one we have here. I hope ASUS fixed the problems in the Intel version, like the third fan, frequently drop performance, and the 4070. Well, this one is the 4070, but let's see how it pairs up with the ASUS, the AMD Ryzen AI 9 HX370. They need to fix that naming. Good to see William here, moderator, friend. Okay, thank you. Good to see you. Good to see JT here. Still think only the 4080 Plus is worth it as a different cooling system, but we'll see how this one does with a tri-fan setup. So I don't know. Does this have the tri-fan? I have to look inside it. I don't know. We'll see. Sadi says the G14 experience is amazing. Yeah, we looked at the G14. That's not getting updated just yet, so I haven't seen anything on that. So if you bought the G16 like Sadi, you can rest assured you're okay. Good to see Raphael, moderator, friend. Good to see you. Richie's here. Crazy how much performance you get now in a days from a light laptop. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing the video I dropped yesterday, that 1X player, one netbook 5 running a 12th gen processor, actually pretty decent, right? So yeah, it's not going to be blazingly fast, but it's certainly adequate for what you need to do. I actually kind of like that. I've been grabbing it the last few days, just around the house, taking it to the coffee shop and so forth. I love that form factor. That's what the Surface Mini should have been, right? So they should have released that. Microsoft should have released that, but they didn't. That's another story. All right, so 4090 has 2 fans. The AMD has the tri-fan, unfortunately. Ah, I see what you're saying. Okay, thank you for that clarification. So this will have the 3 fans. Now, the one on top, like I said, is the 4090 version, Intel Core Ultra 9, 185H, 4090. Okay, so is this a full-fledged? This is not the 4090. This is Zen 5, so 20 plus hours of battery. I don't know. This is packing a lot of punch under the hood, a lot of power consumption. But again, what's been impressive about these Zen 5, the Ryzen AI, is they're pretty efficient processors so far. So we'll see how they're going to do. What do I think of all the Mr. Beast scandals? What do I think? We got the Mr. Beast, all that crap. Linus Tech Tips with all their paid stuff. And then, of course, the whole rigmarole with the Team Pixel scandal, whatever has been going on. By the way, speaking of that Team Pixel, they didn't offer it to me this year. Every year I'm on Team Pixel. They always send me, and they didn't send it to me this year, which is kind of fortunate actually, because I would not have agreed to those terms, saying that I have to give preferential treatment to the Google brand over other brands, and I just won't do that. I won't sell my soul like some of the other people, but that's just me. But there's plenty of videos out there on that whole scandal, whatever you want to call it, that whole brouhaha. So we'll see how that's going to do. All right. So we got a lot of people here. Let's bring it down here. Let's get to the specs here. So let me bring that onto the stream here. And there are some differences. Now, physically, I think we're going to see very similar physical attributes, obviously. So right off the bat, the display should be the same. And that's a good thing, because we're looking at a 16-inch OLED display, 2.5K resolution, 2560 by 1600. What I love about it is the 240 hertz. Now, one of the big complaints, or the big negative, I think, out of otherwise excellent device, which of course is that ProArt P16, is the fact that it's only 60 hertz. Now, just keep in mind, of course, that's geared toward content creators, not gamers and stuff like that. But the fact that they can offer this with a 240 hertz display, high-res display, would have liked to have seen an option there on that ProArt, but that's just me. 500 nits of HDR peak brightness. It's got 100% coverage of the color gamut, all that stuff, yada, yada, yada. Same display. We saw that. Now, with the CPU, AMD Ryzen AI 9 HX370, we know that's got 12 cores, 24 threads. We've seen that, right? Also has the integrated Radeon 890M, of course. When you're not using the discrete GPU, it can use that. Now, GeForce RTX 4070 in this one, and they're calling this 321 tops. You know, that's the way they measure AI, and of course, that's going to bring a lot to the table. But of course, I don't really get into that marketing BS. Basically, I want to see the raw performance and see how everything does. Memory here, you're looking at 32 gigabytes onboard memory. It's dual channel, so not upgradable by the user. That's one downside, I think, going to a thinner type device the last few years. Terabyte of storage here, but I think mine has 2 terabytes. Remember, there are 2 M.2 PCIe 2280 slots on this, so that should be pretty good. We got the same 90 watt-hour battery, excuse me, 90 watt-hour battery, if I can say it correctly. Wi-Fi 7 and Bluetooth 5.4. So that's a little bit of an upgrade over that Intel model, which had Wi-Fi 6E, and I think it was Bluetooth 5.3. So a slight upgrade there. And that's good. That's Wi-Fi 7. We like to see that. Now, let's talk about what they're claiming as far as weight. 1.85 kilograms. You're looking at a shade over 4 pounds, which, considering the fact that this is a 16-inch laptop with a discrete GPU, not too bad, right, to travel with. 1080p IR webcam for Windows Hello. That's the way you log in. I don't believe there's any fingerprint scanner, so you'll have to go with that. As far as the let's see here, the sound, we're going to look at 6 speakers here. There are 4 woofers, 2 tweeters, total 6. I think it's going to be 8 watts of total power, I believe. Or no, it's 4 times 2 watts, so that's 8 just on those alone, and then 4, so that's 12 watts of total power. So that's interesting. Dolby Atmos, that's going to help with the spatial audio. Now, I believe I have the Eclipse Gray, which is what I also had in the one we have with the Intel, and then of course Platinum White is unavailable. Again, link for everything, by the way, is in the description below. You're looking at the headphone jack and all the ports. We'll look into that in a moment. And then of course the price here. Now, price as tested, I believe this is the one that you can get over at Best Buy, and I have a link in the description below, and I'll show it to you right now here. So to start over there, it's $1899.99. And what that brings you is a 4060, a terabyte of storage, and 16 gigabytes of RAM. So same processor, different discrete GPU, and different storage, and different memory, of course. So that is less money. But again, I have the one that you see here, $22.99. And this, of course, gets you 32 gigabytes of RAM, RTX 4070, and 2 terabytes. That's the Platinum White. I don't know if they're offering the gray, which is what I have here. So I'm not really sure about that. And what was that called? I forgot what they called that gray. Eclipse Gray. I can never seem to remember that. And I think what you're getting here is a more efficient processor. We're going to see more of that when I get into the actual numbers and so forth as we look at this promo video. But I think it's a very nice looking device. It's a premium device. And let's do what we do best here. You know the drill, folks. Let's get this out of the box. Okay, so let me change microphones. Okay, so this is the box that it comes in. Pretty thin, actually. Don't remember it being that thin, so we'll get to that in a moment. So let's put it over there. But let's see what kind of power charger. If it's anything like the other one, I already have it set up. If it's the same one we got on the one with the Intel processor. So this one is, yeah, the 200 watts. So I think it's the same. You can see that here. And it uses the proprietary connection from ASUS. Okay. We'll get to your comments and questions once we get this up and running here. You also get your power cord. And that's it for this inner box here. Okay, let's get this out of the plastic here. Okay, so here we have ROG Nebula display. We know it's got a really good high refresh rate, 0.2 millisecond response time, advanced Optimus, NVIDIA G-Sync, AI acceleration, Wi-Fi 7. So those are some of the key features there, and feels pretty good there. And then I think we get some documentation here, and let's take a look at this. Warranty, safety information, yada, 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 yada. You know the drill on that. Okay, so that does it for that box. Let's put this down over here. We'll probably just keep it over there for now. And then let's get this unit out of the plastic here. Okay, so out of the plastic, let's remove this. And it looks exactly the same, right? Physically, it looks the same. Why does this feel a little bit thinner than the one I had before? So just to give you a comparison, so the one on the left is the AMD version. The one on this side is the Intel version. So physically, they're exactly the same, although this may be a little bit thicker here. Let's see if these are the same. So you can see there, pretty much very physically very much the same there. So one does have a better GPU, or stronger or more powerful GPU. This will be this one. So let's put this to the side for now. We'll get back to that in a moment, but let's do the useless test of the day. And you can open it with one finger. And there it is. And wow, physically it looks the same, and we'll get a measurement of the weight. But before we do that, let's give a shout out to Bradley Cochran for the nice super chat there. I ordered one and I'm having it delivered tomorrow. Great timing, right? So looking forward to getting it. I thank you, Bradley, for the support. And by the way, it looks gorgeous. And like I remembered it being on the Intel variant, this AMD variant looks gorgeous. So there you go. And good to see DePoet's here. He's got a great TikTok channel, YouTube channel. Check him out. I'm sure you all know him. Very good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Raphael, did I say hello to you? I think I did. Let's see. Okay, we'll get to your comments and questions in a moment. Thank you, Bradley, for such a generous super chat. All right, now we have over 100 of you watching, so let's get right to it. So here's the keyboard here, and you can see right away this is the similar keyboard. I don't think there's any other difference. Now this does have a Copilot key. I don't remember if the Intel variant does have that. If I can get it on the right way there. So that is something new here. So you can see the Copilot key over here on this one, right? So the AMD version has the Copilot key, the Intel version does not. So that's one difference on the keyboard. But other than that, and that takes the place of the control button, which is over here. But other than that, I don't think there's any physical difference between the two that you can noticeably see that's staring at me right here. Sticker placement is very the same. Look, you got the NVIDIA G-Sync there. You got the Intel and, of course, AMD, and then, of course, NVIDIA GeForce Studio drivers, all that stuff. This is all the same. These buttons are the same. So everything seems to be the same. Let's give a listen to the keyboard. Pretty good, pretty good. I like the keyboard on this. I've been typing on it, and it's got a physical touchpad, not a haptic touchpad. That was one thing I would have liked to have seen, but of course that would have been good. Yes, so Danaris, I do have it, and in fact I have the one with the haptic touchpad from Sensol. I wanted to talk about that. I'll talk about that later. We'll get into it, but I do have that. I wanted to wait for that Sensol one before I did the review. So we're gonna talk about the ThinkPads in a very, very, very short amount of time. Premium quality laptops, yeah. Pretty good. Now, I don't think the sensor is a double duty there. I don't think it does fingerprint scanner. I think you use the IR camera on this. So pretty good. All right, we're going to put this down for now. We're going to probably show the weight difference between the two. In fact, let me bring out my scale here. And let's get a measurement of the weight between these two, actually. Because I'm interested in seeing if that 4090 is going to take up more power. The fact that it has maybe a different cooling system, I don't know. We'll have to see. Again, I haven't opened it up yet. So let's put it into kilograms. So with just the unit alone, you're looking at 1.814 kilograms, and that is 4 pounds on the dot. So that is for this one, right? So that's the new one, the AMD Ryzen 5. Let's put it back into kilograms. and this one is heavier. It's 1.915. So 1.915 or 4 pounds, 3.5 ounces. So let's go back to the other one here, 1.915. This one is going to be, I could feel it's already less. Yeah, 1.815. So that's the difference between the two. So with the power charger and the power cord, that brings a total travel weight to 2.373 kilograms, and that is 5 pounds, 3.7 ounces. So that is what you're going to have to carry with you on the go. So not too bad as far as the weight is concerned. As far as I'm concerned, it is certainly lighter than this one, but of course that one has a 4090, this has a 4070. So that is the weight on these units. Now we can take a look real quick on the, if we move over to here, port selection, right? So checking out the port selection, on the left side is your proprietary port for charging, DC in. And then of course you're looking at an HDMI 2.1, and then you get a 40 gigabit per second or 40 gigabit USB-C port, USB 4.0. So that should have Thunderbolt functionality to connect to SSD drives, hopefully external GPUs and stuff like that. So good to see they mark that as 40 gigabits per second, a USB type A port, and you get your 3.5 millimeter microphone headphone combo jack. All right, now moving over to the right side. So on that right side, you get a full-size SD card reader. Now, let's see if the cards stick out. Let's see how much they stick out. I would say they stick out about, let's see here, about halfway. So they don't go in flush. That would have been nice, but it's not flush with the unit. So would have been nice, but that's not what we get here as we put that back on there. And then you get a USB-A port, and then you get a second USB Type-C port. Now that one, I don't know if that's 4.0. That might be 3.2 Gen 2. I don't remember, but we'll take a look at the specs again. Let me bring those up just real quick to bring out to the port section. I don't remember. Let me fix that there. Okay, so we can pause it there. And that one is a USB Type-C 3.2 Gen 2. Okay, according to that. So I am correct about that. So good thing we have the specs there. And that is the port selection. I would say it's a pretty great port selection. I agree with Raphael, and I agree with Richie and Bradley Cocker. What GPU does this one have? This is the 4070, Brad. I don't know what you ordered. Can you let us know if you have a different configuration that you want to share with us? Because I know you just bought it, you're waiting your delivery tomorrow. So this is the close-up of the keyboard, all right? So there you can see, again, the difference between the Intel one is you get a Copilot key. I don't see any other difference physically than those. Now, you do see some speaker grills here. I believe they're speaker grills. And again, like we said, 6 speakers on this, and the sound was one of the best, if not the best, Windows laptop on the market. So that is one thing you can be sure of with this. And again, what we saw on the P16 was also 6 speakers, very good. But this may be the best. Comparing that to, say, a MacBook Pro 16, which I think is the best in the business, this certainly can hold its own. All right, now, can you charge this laptop with USB-C? Yeah, I don't know if it's getting enough juice, but you may have slow charge on that. It may get an error. In fact, when we power it on, we'll check it out. Let me plug it in. I happen to have the plug ready to go here, so let's plug it in to the proprietary port right there, and let's power this baby on. Okay, 32 gigabytes in white, and yeah, I'm assuming you got it at Best Buy, because I did. By the way, for those that are interested, I did leave a link in the description below. Now, as far as this booting up here, you notice the RGB lighting already right off the bat as we're doing initial boot here. I don't know if ASUS set this up. And by the way, pursuant to the FTC guidelines, I want to be very careful, obviously, by being very careful with the disclosures. I want to let everybody know I'm not being paid by ASUS. I'm not being sponsored by ASUS. All the opinions you're about to hear are my own. ASUS is not obviously getting copy approval on this live stream because it's live, but even my recorded review will not get copy approval. They did provide this review unit, and then when I'm done, I send it back. So I just want to make sure we're all above board here so you know exactly what's going on. Unfortunately, a lot of other creators do not give that proper disclosure. I know The Poets does in his videos when they're sponsored and so forth. He does it the right way. I wish everybody else did it the right way. Not naming names, but when it's done the right way, everybody knows exactly where everybody stands. So there you go. And especially with that whole brouhaha with the Team Pixel stuff, this definitely is apropos. We need to be more transparent, and we need to be more vocal about it. All right. So looks like it's a first time boot. And of course, it's not a touchscreen or anything like that. Now, the one thing I did notice on the Intel, and I'm noticing it here, a little bit more screen wobble than I'm a little bit happy with. I'd like to, especially at this price point, kind of make those hinges a little bit tighter. I know you want the one-handed open, ASUS, but maybe sacrifice that a little bit and give us a little less screen wobble. That's all I'm asking. All right, let's go English, yes. I sort of speak English. United States, yes. Skip. Okay, I'm gonna put it on me for a second as we connect to my network here. Hopefully there won't be some big update. Probably I'm making a mistake here. I should probably do it without that, but whatever. Okay, let me go next here, and let's go back over here, and that's connected to my Wi-Fi. Yeah, I know, Carlos. I kind of like opening it up with one finger. It's not a big deal. I think it is a useless test, as I show you, kind of jokingly, but what it does is, though, it does make the hinges looser than maybe necessary, so you'll have a little bit more screen wobble. At least that's my educated guess here. Let's skip that for now. Let's see if I have to put in my burner account here. So far, obviously, this is a very nice display. We're looking at a 2.5K resolution, 2560 by 1600. It's got a QHD resolution, and I like it. It's been pretty good. And we saw it on that Intel version, right? We'll bring that out. We're going to compare a little bit of what's going on in the displays and so forth. Thunderbolt 4, yeah, it's not Thunderbolt 4. Remember, this is an AMD-based unit, but it does have a USB 4.0 USB Type-C port on the left here. It's 40 gigabits per second. It should have all the functionality you need for connecting to an external GPU, say Thunderbolt docks and stuff like that, Thunderbolt drives. In fact, we'll check a look at it. I have a drive here from Sabrent. This is a Thunderbolt drive, and you can see it here. And this one connects via Thunderbolt. In fact, you need a Thunderbolt cable, as I have here, before, if it's even going to work. So that's a telltale sign if it has at least some functionality in terms of Thunderbolt. But 4.0 theoretically should give you everything you need. Now, I'm going to sign into my account. I'm going to put it back onto me here. And that should take just a brief moment here. And I tell you what, I like this keyboard. Yeah, I liked it. A little bit of the throw is a little shallow, but it still feels pretty satisfying to me. All right, so I did something wrong. Of course, I probably put in the wrong password, so let's retry that again. Okay, now we can do it. Something went wrong. Whatever. Let me try one more time. All live, folks. Let me make sure I'm doing this right. Something's wrong. Let's go next here. Let's try to do it without it. How do I do this without the... I don't know why it's not letting me do it. Let's see, sign-in options. I have an iPhone. I don't want to do this. How do I do it without it? I hate this. And of course it's live. Let me try it again one more time. Ugh. I don't know if Microsoft's having an issue. And guess what? It worked. And I probably showed you it. Doesn't matter. Okay, because that's a burner account. All right, so let's skip for now. Oh, let's set up the face. Okay. So pretty fast recognition there. Okay, next. All right, let's create a pin here. Hold on, let me put it on me. Not that it matters. Okay. Yeah, it's terrible. This whole Windows setup it sucks. Don't they? I think they usually do set it up in advance, or I don't remember if ASUS does that, but it would have been nice. So we'll see what happens. All right, that's loading in. Let me put that over there for now. All right, so let's do setup as a new PC. I don't want to restore from the back. What is it doing? All right, let me put it back over here. Why did I pick that? Let me go back. I really screwed this up, but anyway, we'll keep moving. Okay, there are more options. There we go. Set up as a new PC. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so that's doing its thing. How's everybody doing? Planning to buy the Intel one. What is the price difference? I have a link in the description below. If you want to buy the one that I looked at. So the Intel one, let me see what my link brings here. So it's $3,000. It's actually $300 off. That one has the 4090. The one I looked at in the Eclipse Gray, it was originally $3,300. There's a sale right now at Best Buy, $300 off. So if you're in the market for the most powerful one, that will be that 4090. And that's in the link in the description below. It's the second link there. And then, of course, this one is the first link there. And then I also have for the G14 for those that are interested. And that as well as the ProArt P16. All right, so let me go next. I don't want any notifications or any of that crap. Next. I hate the Windows setup. They need to fix this. It's a lot of BS. Yeah, it's not for the, look, it's a serious laptop. If you're serious about portable gaming, if you're serious about video editing, if you're serious about production kind of thing, this will do it. I mean, it's a pretty unique in the sense that it's a small form factor, but has pretty good power. Say what you want about it. The design is, I think, beautiful. It's gorgeous. I like this Eclipse Gray. It also comes in the platinum white. It's a lot of money. These are not cheap laptops. The one we're looking at here today is $2,400. I think it's $2,399 or $2,299 or whatever it is. That is a lot of money, but you're not getting a basic laptop. You're getting a pretty powerful laptop that can pretty much do it all for you. It'll be your only computer you'll need, right? Because when you're out and about, it's pretty portable. And then when you're back in your office or in your home, you can plug it into a dock and to a big monitor and keyboard and mouse. And that is one freaking gorgeous display. Wow, that is beautiful. So this is the display. In fact, let me lower it a little bit. Yeah, that's a nice display. Now, one of the things I'm going to do, let me hook it up to my Thunderbolt dock, and this will be a good example. Well, this is a Thunderbolt dock, but let's put it into this port right here. and really beautiful, and really is. And then we can get a look at it over here. So this is the display, and let me go into the display settings, right? So just to give you a little bit of what's going on here. So this is a 2560 by 1600 display. We're looking at 150 scaling. I may change that. We'll see how that's going to look. Let's go to the advanced. So it is already right out of the box at 240 hertz. So that is good to see. So we don't have to worry about that. Now, HDR will not be available right now because I'm plugged into my dock, which has an HDMI connected to it, which would show you that input, which is what you're seeing. So I think you'll be okay getting HDR and all that stuff. But as far as this display, it is absolutely gorgeous. Now, I have to unlink this PC here. Hold on, give me a second. Go to settings here, unlink. All right, there you go. Those things should start disappearing. No, thank you, Microsoft. I'm not going to connect to that. All right, now let's go into the My ASUS app real quick. And let's take a look. I hate this. I don't want to do that. Yeah, that's all I want. I want to go to the home page. Okay. So it's got an update already. So let's confirm that. We'll update that in a moment. Oh, great, of course. Let's try that again. Not my day. I guess we have no choice. We have to say okay to this. But what I like about the My ASUS app is the device settings here. So we can put it into the different performance settings and all that stuff. But I think it's updating right now. So before we can even get to all that, let it do its thing. So let's close that for now. And then let me go here to power and sleep settings. And let me put it into the best performance. Right now, it's been pretty quiet. All right, now if we go, this is we know what the processor is here. And let's take a look at the device manager. And then I'm going to go to NVIDIA. I want to see how much power they're sending to the GPU. So the display adapter obviously is the 4070 and the 890M Radeon graphics. That's the integrated portion of that. Should have a mux switch if I remember correctly. And then let's take a look at the SSD. So the SSD here is a MFTF 1 terabyte. Oh, is it 1 terabyte or is it 2 terabytes? So let's take a look. Let's go to this PC. Oh, so I have 1 terabyte of storage. So I thought I had 2. I don't know why, but it's 1 terabyte. So this is the one. I think the one at Best Buy gets you 2 terabytes for the price I showed you. So that's even better, I guess. Just depends on how much you want to spend. Now, all right, so let's go back here. I want to make sure we're in the high performance mode. Let's see if we may have to restart it. Let's see. Power and performance. So I don't know what's going on with that, but let's put it over here. Let me do the function. Is there a fan here? Yeah. So function, that's the turbo mode. This is performance and silent. Let's put it on turbo. Let's see how loud this gets here. See, it's on turbo now. So right now it's on turbo. They're heating up. They're spinning up. Let me go to the internet. Let's confirm, continue without data, start browsing. Let me go to Geekbench. All right, so let me go back to some of these comments and questions. I know I'm just one person, so I appreciate your patience for bearing with me. Does it have a second SSD drive? It should. It should. What is the difference between 390HX and 395? I haven't seen a device running the 395. I'm not sure if there's a huge difference. If somebody knows, maybe we can look into that. I could probably look into that and compare the two, but I don't know if there's a huge difference. I haven't seen any devices with that yet. So there you go. All right. I need to review the ASUS TUF A14. Hussein, I hope I got your name right. I have it here. That's next up. That came already. It's been here a few days. I have the previous version and I have the new version with the Ryzen AI. So the 370, HX 370. So we're going to have all that coming. All right, let me load this in here. Best regards from Ukraine. Okay. Hope you're safe over there. Hope you're okay, you and your family. Okay, let's open this up. So we can get an idea here. I haven't downloaded anything. I haven't updated any drivers or anything. So whatever we get here is not going to be the final result. I'll show you that in my upcoming review. But I have it on turbo mode here. Everything is ramping up. It's not that loud. And let's listen to it right now real quick. So idle, you're looking at about 37, maybe 38 decibels, but that's idle. That's not doing anything. Let's run the CPU test here on the Geekbench, and let's get that rocking and rolling. All right, 395, according to Omen, has a bit more NPU performance for AI, no other difference. So in other words, there's no difference. I don't consider the AI stuff to be anything of significance. So no need to go to a 395, at least from what I'm seeing in the industry right now. So 114 of you watching right now, or 128. I'm not really sure which one it is because it constantly changes. So it looks like 114. Good turnout. Again, impromptu. We are looking at the ASUS ROG Zephyrus G16, the what is it? The G605A or something like that. It's running the new Ryzen AI with the 4070 on this one. This is the Eclipse Gray. So we're running our first benchmark, which is the Geekbench 6. We're doing single and multi-core performance. So we'll see how that's going to do. But so far, loving what I'm seeing here so far. And we have here, of course, while this is doing that, I do have, of course, the Intel model, which is running the Core Ultra 9 185H. So we might as well bring that out and see what's going on here. I have a plug here for that one. And let me make sure I don't spill anything here. Okay. So that's plugged in. So they're both plugged in and both have the same display. So it's good to see that. All right. So let's get to the Geekbench on this. Let's see what this one has here. Geekbench 6. So let's put it on the turbo mode. I haven't updated this one since the probably the review. Maybe I did update it once. So let's run the CPU on this one. Let me make sure this is all on the same settings here. Of course, the 4090 is the GPU side, but this is the Core Ultra 9, right? Best performance, turbo. Let's run that so we can get an idea. So this is the Intel, this is the AMD. So I didn't start them at the same time, but no big deal. I expect to see that the AMD should have better single and multi-core performance, even though that is an Ultra 9, Core Ultra 9 from Intel. What we're seeing here on the Zen 5 is better single and multi-core performance. But of course, Lunar Lake is coming out soon, so that may just change the equation. But again, until we see something in actual real-world usage, we have to still go with what we can actually test. And that, of course, is this Core Ultra processor here. Waiting for the crazy sound from the Zephyrus. They are on the ball in this department for a crazy sound. Yeah, 6 speakers, really, really impressive on the Windows side. In fact, it's rivaling that of a MacBook Pro, in my opinion, so I think it's pretty good. And the fans are going. But not, I don't know, it's hard to tell which one's which. So we'll see. I hope I have this on the turbo. I think I did have this one on the turbo, but we'll see. So according to that, it looks like it's only 64 gigabytes of memory. This one has 32 and this one has 32. It's DDR5. Now, I think this one is 7,500 mega transfers per second, but we'll have to check that. Oh, and I also have to check the amount of wattage that is fed to the NVIDIA the GPU. So when this is done, remind me to check that out in the NVIDIA Control Center. Yeah, they have wobbly screens, William. That was one complaint I had on the Intel, and I'm seeing it here also. So we got our first result, and of course I started this one first. 2907 a single core and 1539 multi-core. So you can actually see it there. Let me take a screenshot. And where is the screenshot? Somewhere, blah, blah, blah. Now, where is the screenshot? I forgot on this one. So is it going to be this? But I don't want that one. I don't know. So let's see here. Full screen. Okay, took it. So we're waiting on this one here. We're waiting on this one. I started this one later. What cost on the Razer Blade with the same spec? Razer Blade's like $6,000 probably. I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure. It's expensive. They stopped sending me stuff years ago. I don't know why. Why don't they like me? I don't know. I was fair to them. I don't know. I think on the ROG laptops, the performance settings are in the Armory Crate app instead of the My ASUS app. All right, we could take a look at the Armory Crate. But I use the function and the fan on function 5, F5 key. Check the CPU, the GPU wattage. Yes, I'm waiting for this to be done. I could do it now. Good point. Thank you. Let's take a look at it in the control center here. So let's agree to that, and we're going to get our result in a moment. Let me minimize that. So where is that? There it is. And then let's go to the system information and maximize that. Okay. So this one, okay, so it's got 105 watts according to this. RTX 4070, 105 watts. And I think that's the same that we saw on the ProArt the P16, right? Wasn't that 105 watts? So that is what we're getting here. Let me take a screenshot of that. Not really sure how to do this. We'll have to do full screen. Okay. So let's close that. Okay. I was hoping to get this over the ProArt P16, but may have to go with the P16 for the memory. Yeah, that's the one thing though. This is not only going up to 32, at least here in the US. All right, we got our result here, and we're gonna take a look at this, compare these two here. So you could see here, let me lower the brightness. So this one, 2530 single core, and this is 2907. So better single core on the Zen 5. And then 14,590 on the multi-core. And again, better score here, 15,349. Now, where you're going to see the better performance graphics-wise is going to be the 4090. But I don't think that's a big surprise here. Let's run the OpenCL test on both of these, and we can take a look at it. This is the 4070. And then let me go to here for a second. Let me go to the NVIDIA control panel on this one. And I want to see, because I don't have it off the top of my head, what wattage is fed to that 4090. If I think it was, yeah, so look at that, 125 watts. 125 watts. So that's going to be more powerful. No doubt about it. But let's get the results. So let's start these. GPU. Let's do it. AMD destroyed Intel. It's better. You know, say what you want about Meteor Lake, all the problems they're having, 13th, 14th generation. Intel is really having some issues. They just did a massive layoff. They're in the midst of a massive layoff, from what I understand. Other companies as well, Dell, it's not good right now. Not good. And Intel rested on their laurels all those years while everybody not only caught up, but now passed them. But don't count them out just yet. They are, I would argue that they really are too big to fail, in a sense, with the government backing them and all that stuff. So I think Lunar Lake, hopefully, and again, I have no inside information, at least not yet, because I hopefully will be getting some Lunar Lake very soon. can't comment on it until we know. And you can see this one's already done. This one's 165, 229, 110, 704. So you see the difference between the two there. You can see it there. So let me take my screenshot of this. Okay, so that is the graphics on these. Now, the other thing I wanted to do, so let me close this. Let me close this. Oh, you know what? Actually, let me go back. I want to see the integrated graphics versus, so the 890M versus the Intel Arc. So this is Intel Arc. Oh, I'm on the wrong microphone. I do this all the time. Thank you. So they'll be better now. Whoever gave me the thumbs down, take it back. I fixed the microphone. Okay. But it should be okay, actually. You should be able to hear me. You will hear the fans as well. But that's a pretty good microphone, actually, that you were hearing. But this is so much better because it's right next to my mouth. So it makes sense. All right. So this one is the Radeon 890M. So let's test these. Ready to go? 1, 2, 3, boom. So this is going to test the Radeon 890M versus the Intel Arc graphics. So this is interesting. Richie's saying some leaks have seen that Lunar Lake will be slower, 5 to 10% versus the new AMD chips. Well, that's not good. Well, that's good for AMD. I'm impressed. I like Zen 5. I'm very, very happy with this Ryzen AI. They're more efficient. They got good performance. I'm getting good battery life pretty much on all the devices, considering what they're packing under the hood. Pretty good. Pretty good. And you don't have any of the compatibility issues you have with the Windows on ARM that you have to go with if you say Qualcomm, the Snapdragon X Plus, X Elite that you have to deal with. So to me, this is the logical choice, right? AMD. Does it have an RTX 4060 model? There is, and that one's $18.99. I left the link for, I don't know if I have that one, but if you go to Best Buy, if you check out my link, excuse me, Best Buy will show it to you. In fact, this is the, we can go look at it real quick while everything is coming into focus here. You can see here, $18.99, and that's the one that's got the 4060 terabyte of storage, 16 gigabytes of RAM. This is the one we have here, although the one at Best Buy is 2 terabytes. I think I only have one on mine, but you get everything else the same, the 4070 and the 370. I mean, the 4070 and 32 gigabytes of RAM. So that is the difference there. Okay, so we got our results here. And where is the result? Let me move that out of the way. So here it is. Okay, 42,079. This is the Radeon 890M. And this is really low for a Intel Arc graphics. So because I think it's a secondary thing here, because we have the RTX 4090, they're not feeding it as much power. That's my theory on that. That's why you're only getting a little bit over like 21,000, right? But this is 42,000. You can see it right here, 42,079. Let me take a screenshot of that. So better graphics even. Even the integrated is doing better on this one. So okay, so that's that. So those are the differences between the two here. Now, I'm going to bring in Cinebench here. So let me go to my Cinebench here, and I'm going to have to download it for this one, Cinebench 2024. If I have it here somewhere. And then this one, maybe I had to, I didn't restrict it on that one. I don't know. So let me go here. Okay, so download Cinebench. Here we go, x86. Again, we don't have to worry about Windows on ARM here. We can use the x86 app here. Notebook Check. What about Notebook Check? Did anybody review this yet? I hope I didn't bust an embargo. I don't think so. People are already ordering them. Can you turn off the dedicated graphics on both models? I think you can. Maybe in the Armory crate. I have to double check. I think this is a mux switch, right? So that allows you to use the integrated. I'm not sure. We'll have to see. If anybody knows, just chime in. Why is this not showing me? Didn't I? Oh, I already had it. What am I doing here? I thought I had it. Okay. So this is going to bring up Cinebench on this one. All right. Where are we right now? Looks like we have 90 of you watching, or about 90 of you. All right. So we're going to turn off the advanced benchmark. We're going to just turn it off because I don't want to be here all day. And let's load this one in. So let's wait till this loads in. According to Vacherinsky, although I like ASUS, I'd wait for the other vendors on the new platform from AMD, for example, Lenovo ThinkPad and all that stuff. Yeah, we got these, they're the first out of the gate, right? I think ASUS is the only ones that have the AMD here so far. I haven't seen anybody else release it. I know HP had an event where they were showing off one, but I don't think they released it yet, at least not to reviewers. So far, only ASUS is the ones. I know other manufacturers are coming out with them, but out of the gate, these are the only ones. Now, will the next G14 have these AMD processors? I would imagine not yet. I mean, it haven't been announced yet, but I would imagine if the G16 is getting it, why wouldn't the G14? Now, the G14 has the predecessor, right? And we reviewed that. All right. So we're just waiting on this one. How come Surface laptop is priced the same when spec'd as this Asus with the 4070? That's because Microsoft thinks people are stupid and they could rip them off. I'm joking. Different form factor. You're paying for a name. You're paying for a brand. They want to be like Apple. And I think that's why they're charging too much. I know Josh did a video today, right? He did his review on the Surface Pro 11, and I reviewed mine. I reviewed mine already about a month or so ago. And one of the things I found was it's very expensive, right? So with just the unit, without any keyboard and the pen and all that stuff, it's $1,500, right? And then when you add the ProFlex keyboard, that's another $450. So by the time you're all said and done, it's over $2,000. And then this one is about $2,300, but you're getting a lot more power. But again, a different form factor. This is a 16-inch laptop. That's a 13-inch 2-in-1. So it's a big difference. It's a big difference. But Microsoft does tend to overcharge for their products, kind of like Apple. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. Now, according to Jet Victor, Lunar Lake is going to be great, but it will have lower multi-core due to no more hyper-threading, but much more in efficiency. And that's the idea, right? So it'll be a little bit more efficient. We'll hopefully get cooler, run quieter, and it'll give you better battery life, right? So, but they will sacrifice a little performance. I don't know. We'll find out. We're going to find out. Again, I don't have any to test, not yet, but hopefully we'll have it soon. Yeah, couldn't find anybody else using the new AMDs. Just got to be patient. Yeah, I think they were the first out the gate with all their AMD Ryzen stuff that I looked at. When did I go to Taipei? Was it a month or 2 months ago? Had a great time. And full disclosure, ASUS, and you know this, they flew me out to Taipei. They put me in a nice hotel. They fed me nice meals. Took me on a nice hike to the tea gardens in Taipei, somewhere outside Taipei. It was actually Jufen. It was in Jufen. Beautiful. But they didn't pay me. They didn't do anything like that. But I was upfront and say, look, I understand they brought me to Taipei. I wouldn't be able to go any other way. But nobody's telling me what to say about any of the stuff I saw there, any of the reviews that I did on those, the review units I did on those. So there you go. So, but they're the first out of the gate with the AMD processors. And they did a good job. I think that ZenBook S16, one of my favorites for 2024. And they didn't even give me the more powerful one. I did the AMD Ryzen 9, not the HX, the 365. Again, very confusing naming and stuff like that. All right, let me set this one up. Let me turn it off. Let's do the graphics first, right? These should be quick. And of course, we'll see a better result on this one. So 4, 3, 2, 1. So these are going. Although this one was still warming up. I probably should have waited a little bit, but it's okay. It was just giving us a quick and dirty result here. Snapdragon X2 Elite in 2025. Yeah, I mean, it was a good start. Look, a good start. I want to see better compatibility, but I think it's night and day from what we had before with regards to Windows and ARM. So we're in a good position. Good to see one bad van. Not paying you, just buttering you up. Well, they're not paying me, but apparently other people are being paid, but not me, and unbeknownst to me. So that was a little bit of an eye-opening experience, but to each his own. Everybody has a different business plan. What bothers me the most is the lack of transparency, the lack of verbally telling your audience, which you're required, at least here in the US, and I'm sure very equivalent internationally. There are other agencies, other laws you have to comply with, where you have to be upfront and very transparent. You must say it in your video, what the relationship is to the brand. You must say something in the description. And by the way, after we're done, I still have to put it in this one. But here we have the result. But that you do have to be transparent. All right. So this is the result on the AMD version. Obviously, 4070 is not going to be as powerful. This is 11,443. And then on this one, we got 17,278. I turned off all the, this was just a quick and dirty test. Now, let's go to the multi-core. 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. And they're going right now. According to Dichi, love the content. Keep it up. I really don't like the customer support of most of the companies. Yeah, unfortunately, the one who has to suffer is the consumer should you have any issues. So, yeah, I think it was Alex Ziskin had a problem with HP on that OmniBook that he reviewed. He bought one, and then I saw that he had a lot of problems loading basic programs in that should have loaded in, but who's holding them accountable? That's the question, right? Who's holding these companies accountable? Good question, One Bad Van, for being transparent. Unfortunately, nobody, but that may not be true. So apparently the FTC, which is the Federal Trade Commission, which governs this area, is suing a lot of content creators here in the U.S. for breaching those guidelines, breaching those laws regarding the transparency and pay-for-play kind of thing, where they're not being upfront and transparent with their audience, and that's a big issue. So we'll see. Is it so risky to, Windows and ARM? I would say just depends. And I think the consensus among all the reviewers has been, if you stick to the basics, Microsoft Office, email, web browsing, consuming media, you'll have a great experience. And I've been using these Windows and ARMs for the last couple of months, and they've been working great because that is the type of things I've been doing with them. Where you run into trouble is when you try to do things it's not really meant to do, and there's going to be some compatibility issues. So I think that's where you're going to run into some trouble. And I think we've gone over that a number of times in my videos. Other reviewers have felt the same way. So, it's pretty interesting to see where we're going. I think they're off to a good start. I think the next version of this, Windows and ARM, will be better. I think they're learning from it, and that's going to be good in the long run. But right now, if you stick to the basics, you're fine. You're going to get great battery life. Obviously, depending on the model, you're going to get a great experience. But be warned, not everything will work 100%, especially certain x86 apps, games, some things will be hit or miss. According to William, most companies will stand behind their products. The problem is they stand so far behind them that when you need them, you cannot find them. That is a very good point. Funny, but very good point. It is true, though. That is true. Unfortunately, some of the customers are left in the lurch. And again, Alex Ziskin, I think he wound up giving up or eventually found somebody days later that allowed him to return it because HP wanted to charge a 15% restocking fee on the $1,200 or so price that he already paid for the product that didn't work. So when he called up the customer service, when I was watching that video, he recorded it. What happened was they wanted to charge him the 15%, or if he went through the technical support or the tech support. But he said, why should I have to go to the tech support if it doesn't work? It's defective. So they made him go through all those hoops. Eventually found some customer representative who was able to waive that 15% restocking fee, which is kind of, paying like $200 or whatever it is, more than $200 for what he paid, on top of what he paid for something that didn't work. And I think that was wrong. You are the only content creator where I've gone out and bought products based on reviews because I know you can be trusted. Haven't steered me wrong yet. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Look, not everybody's going to have the same experience. I may like something. You may not like something. It's all subjective in a lot of ways. All I can do, run the numbers consistently, the same tests run throughout all the individual products, and try to give you some semblance of an opinion that you can then base your shopping on, whatever, your shopping decision. But ultimately, that's up to you. And you may not agree with everything that I say, right? So your experience may be different than mine. A key point is going to be battery life, right? Where, that's a hard one to really standardize because I use the PC Mark X Modern Office suite of tests that I think are the closest we're going to get to something standardized. It's still not perfect. Everybody's use case is different. So, if I get 12 hours on the Modern Office test, that doesn't mean that's going to last 12 hours for the way you use it and so forth. Same thing with the video playback test, same thing with the gaming test and the Microsoft Office test. All those stuff vary from user to user. So it's just something you need to keep in mind. This one's already done, by the way. So this one should be done now or almost done. This is still not even done. And look at that multi-core, 1190. That's a really good score, 1190. And that's the Ryzen AI 9 HX370. Still waiting on the Intel, which I guess is not a surprise. So we're still waiting on this one. Yeah, I like him. I think he's pretty good. I don't know him. I just found him recently, actually, just perusing my timeline, and I noticed they offered me the video. And the one that really struck me was this HP Omnibook, which I reviewed. I'm going to be honest, it wasn't my favorite, and that it wasn't my favorite of the new Copilot Plus PCs from the Qualcomm release. It's not a bad laptop. In fact, when they did that firmware update and all that, it was a lot better, at least than the one that I have. But it wasn't quite up to snuff, the display-wise and other areas. It had great battery life, but I just felt they were missing that the pizzazz. Like, for instance, you look at the Lenovo Slim 7X, which I looked at, and that one just had a great color to it, great OLED display, everything was great about it. The battery life was good. I mean, everything. It was a complete package in a lot of ways, if you're going to stick with that ecosystem, Windows and ARM. But that's just my 2 cents. All right, so we have the scores here. So this one is 1190. We already looked at that. This one's 1014. So we're seeing a better multi-core. Now, let's just run the single core real quick. This was 1014. So 1190, 1014. So far, better single multi-core. Well, so far, better multi-core. Single core, we're going to find out right now, but I could tell you right off the bat, this one is going to be better. Do you have the Galaxy Book 4 Pro? Is it worth it if it's on sale for £999? Okay, so, yeah. I mean, on sale, yes. On sale, yes. I have to shave, I know. On sale, yes, it's Sunday. What do you want from me? It's time. It's that once a week where I got to do it. And this is like a week. If you get it on sale, yes. I'm not the biggest fan of the keyboard. I'm going to tell you that right off the bat. Some people like it. I don't. As far as the display, I love the display. A little too much screen wobble, a little too glossy, but I think they fixed a lot of it based on this year's. I do like, I will be honest, I do like the Galaxy Book 4 Edge running this Qualcomm if you're only doing your basic tasks, like I said, because you'll do better on the other areas like battery life and it'll be quieter. But there you go. What do you think about Just Josh? What do I think about him? He's terrible. Nobody should watch him. No, I'm joking. He's a good friend of mine, so I'm a little bit biased. But Josh has a great channel. I think he does a great job. He has good personality. I think he presents well. He's very knowledgeable. I think especially for people in computer science, coders and stuff, I think, he comes from that background. So I think he really appeals to them. And I think he's got a good team there. They're growing, and I think they're on their way to being one of the biggest tech review channels out there. And I think he's doing a great job. That's at least my 2 cents. He is my friend, but I'm just telling you the way I see it. So I wanted a Galaxy Book, but I heard a lot of screen cracks appearing out of nowhere. Yeah, I didn't experience that, but if, that's not good if it happens, but I didn't experience it, so I can't really comment on it. I can only go to Reddit and see what the people are saying, buyer beware kind of thing. I don't know. That's one of the things we have to be careful of. Do you think the ProArt PX13 is going to go on sale before the end of the year? I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised, but again, the ProArt series, I'm not sure. I like to call it their prosumer type of line, their content creator focused line. I think what I've seen so far, the pricing is commensurate with what you're getting. That PX13, by the way, is one of the best laptops of 2024. It's unique in the sense that you're getting a 13-inch device, like laptop, 13.4-inch, whatever the display size is, with a high-res display, 2.8K resolution, but it only has a 60 hertz. Again, that's another area where I think they could have gone, although they don't want to cannibalize sales of the G14 or the G16. I understand that, but that was the only thing where I wish they would have done something a little bit different. Other than that, it's one of the most perfect laptops in 2024. It's a complete package. Where can you find, with a discrete GPU, a 2-in-1 convertible? I mean, it really fit the bill. I mean, it really checked a lot of the boxes, at least in my opinion. All right, so wish it was cheaper than that 120 hertz display. Yeah, they are kind of expensive. Can the dedicated GPU be disabled completely in the ProArt and the PX13 when needed for longer battery life? I didn't see a muck switch, so I don't know. Anybody know how to turn that off? Maybe in the BIOS? I didn't try it, so I would have to look into that. But if anybody knows that answer, please let us know. Just saw the ASUS ROG at Best Buy and was really impressed. Yeah, it's impressive. The performance is definitely better, even than the Ryzen, even better than the Intel Core Ultra 9 185H. Here we're seeing better single and multi-core, and we're going to see it play out here right off the bat. But again, we're still waiting on this single core test, which takes a little bit longer. Yeah, you could get a 120 hertz monitor, but that's something that's you're going to not take with you, right? That's something at your desk. What about such a PX13, for instance, is a portable 2-in-1 convertible. So you may want those occasions where it'd be nice to have 120 hertz when you want to play a game on your downtime. Not a deal breaker. Don't get me wrong. For the type of user it's geared towards that, I don't think you're going to have an issue with that. I think it's content creation and stuff like that. You're not going to want the 120 hertz. You don't need it. You need the better coverage of the color gamut. You need the color accuracy that it gives. That's where you're going to get the benefit of that. You can disable it, but it doesn't work as default. Oh, I see what you're saying. So you might have to, according to Timothy, you may have to disable it, but maybe every time and then re-enable it. I don't know. There's no muck switch or anything like that. So pretty interesting. Also, AMD shout out from Ultra Book Review. Love your reviews. So are you part of Ultrabook Reviews? Another great resource. You know, we've talked about Notebook Check. Check out Ultrabook Reviews, which I have a lot of respect for and referred to them a lot of times. Yeah, definitely. You could put it, excuse me. You could put, wow, you could put it in the GPU an echo mode. It's much like a muck switch. That's true. In the My ASUS app, there was the eco mode, or I guess in the what was that other, I forget the other thing. We have it here. We could probably take a look at that. Hold on. Let me this went to sleep. I forgot to turn off the thing. So hopefully that won't affect the score too bad. But yeah, you can go in the eco mode and it'll act much like a muck switch. That's good. Thank you, AR Tech Reviews. I mean, you're working on integrated GPU by default. Okay. On the P16. Okay. Let's see. I am incognito. I am Douglas Black. I help out at Andre. Okay. There you go. Shout out to Ultrabook Reviews. A creator would like 64 gigabytes, and that's why you do get the 64 gigabyte option on the P16, right? So that's pretty interesting. It turns off the GPU. Okay. So do you think the ZenBook S16 is worth it even when priced at 21 euros at my location? It depends. If you need a discrete GPU, then it's not worth it because you might want to go with something like the P16, although it is expensive. You know, the prices will vary region to region, right? So as we have 100 of you, it's a pretty good turnout tonight for this live stream. All right. So very interesting stuff we're learning here. Oh, and here's a tech reject. It's Tech Odyssey. This is one where I think you need to stay away from. His name is Tech Odyssey, and no, I'm joking. He's a good friend of mine. Everybody who doesn't know Tech Odyssey, by the way, I was referring to the Team Pixel debacle that has been unfolding on X, formerly known as Twitter, and Tech Odyssey was in the middle of it. He did a great video on that. We should probably link it if anybody can go over to his channel. He quit Team Pixel. I think the title was "I Quit Team Pixel," and rightfully so, by the way, because they wanted him to sign an agreement that would basically guarantee Google that he would not give any preference to any other brand in favor of Team Pixel or Google or whatever. So I commend Adam. He's got tremendous integrity. He's got ethics, and that's something rare nowadays. So check out Tech Odyssey and don't listen to him. His videos are very good, very entertaining. And we just went to, where did we go? Benihana here in Las Vegas. He was just here. So a creator would like 120 hertz as well, but hello to ProArt. Okay. Yeah, 120 hertz is great, but you know, they have to also look at battery life as well. They can't have a terrible battery life. It was okay, you know, average at best, right? Even with 60 hertz. I have the AMD G16 now, and it's noticeably faster than the S16 I tried. So the G16, which is what we have here, definitely is, I think overall for the average consumer, this will be a great general purpose one because this will do video editing. This will do gaming. This will do 120 hertz or 240 hertz. What am I saying? This will do 240 hertz. You can't do that on the ProArt, right? So there you go. Personally, I felt the S16 Personally, I felt the S16 was not enough of a real laptop, more of a design piece. It was gorgeous with that ceraluminum, right? And the Scandinavian white, more than a real laptop, but a design piece. It wasn't tuned. What did he say? It wasn't tuned particularly well and had a keyboard that was just way too bright for use in the dark. Is it too much of a museum piece? I have it here somewhere. Check out my review. I liked it. I liked it quite a bit. And by the way, Tech Odyssey also reviewed the P16, so check it out. He also had the ProArt sent to him, so that was good. He did a great job. And he gives you a good, different perspective than somebody like me. So he's a phone reviewer, but does computer reviews as well, PC reviews and so forth. Which dedicated GPU with acceptable battery life would you recommend? Doesn't have to be 12 hours, but 6 would be nice. You know, we saw the PX13 with the 4050. It did fine. It did fine in the battery life. Not great, but it was respectable. I would look at that. Do you think the ZenBook 14 OLED with AMD is a good laptop for student? And not only is it a good laptop for student, it made my back to school 2024 list, right? So if you didn't see that, go over to my channel, check it out. Best back to school laptops, and it's that the G14 and the G16 made it. Shout out 702. I'm in Henderson. All right, so you're right down the highway here. I'm more towards the Summerlin area. I used to live in Henderson, so shout out to a fellow 702 person. Now, according to Tech Odyssey, nice thing about a laptop with 60 hertz is that you can always plug them into a high refresh rate monitor if you want to use it for gaming in the office or stationary location. So it's not a complete deal killer. And I totally agree, Tech Odyssey. Absolutely. You have that option. But it's nice to have 120 hertz, say if you're on the road, on an airplane, you want to have a little bit more refresh rate. It's not a deal breaker, but I see what you're saying. Absolutely. Andrew Wright, which is louder, the G16 or the Intel or this one? Well, we're going to measure them. Probably should do it now, actually, while this is still going. So, in fact, let me bring out my measuring for the audio here. Actually, I have to wait till they're done because they're both going. So let's finish this and then we'll see what we got there. According to Wonder Sausage, good to see you, my friend. By the way, Best Buy has an HP Victus with a 4070 for $999, only 16 of 512, but it's socketed, meaning you can upgrade it yourself. That's a good deal, by the way. Nice to point that out. I like to see upgradeability nowadays. Yeah, I like 120 hertz too. Yeah, that's true. And they should start thinking about external monitors. In fact, I just showed in my mini laptop review yesterday that nobody watched, the 1X Player 1 Netbook 5. They need to do something about that name, especially the netbook. When people have netbook, they go for the hills, although it's anything but a netbook. That one, I lost my train of thought. But anyway, yes, people want it. Oh yeah, I showed it with my, what was that video I did with the monitor? The UPerfect, the 17.3-inch 4K portable monitor, and it worked like in tandem. They were great. You had a little 10.1-inch little display, and then you could connect it to that big display. Worked out great, actually. The studio lights and the glossy make the screen wobble appear noticeable when you move and knock the table. Is it possible to tighten the hinges? Yes. Jimmy, why don't you come over and tighten the hinges here? I will have to have you come over and tighten the hinges. Yes, the screen wobble is making it more. Look, I do have a lot of studio lights, but there is screen wobble. There's no way around it. But everybody, we need Jimmy to fix the studio. Just kidding. Thank you. I will look into it. Okay. I don't know what you're talking about, but all right. All right. We're still waiting on the single core results here. Those take longer. Right now we're at, I don't want to go too long tonight. We're almost at hour and a half, 123, hour and 23 minutes. Do me a favor. Let's hit the thumbs up. Let's get it seen by more people. Let's get to 100 likes. I think we're at 85 or something like that. He's going to look into it, okay? Okay. The P16 display is an upgraded OLED display called Lumina. It's more color accurate, faster response, and clearer picture. Yeah, no, it's got the bells and whistles when it comes to color accuracy, coverage of the color gamut. I show you all the metrics. That Lumina display is really good. It's really good. I measured this one, so check out my review. This one was also very good. That one was really good. And the other difference is that one has a touch layer, and on top of that, there's pen support. So those are some of the differences between something like this and the P16. And here's a link to Tech Odyssey's Quitting Team Pixel. It's a doozy, folks. So get your popcorn ready. Dev Josh, Joshi, what is your take on the ASUS ROG Flow X16? I bought it since it was powerful and it has a 200 functionality. You think it will still be good since it came out last year? Yeah, it's perfectly fine. I don't know. I haven't heard any upgrades for this year or upcoming. I'm assuming they will upgrade it, but I don't have any information just yet. But yeah, it's good. That's a really great device for what it is, right? So you have the two-in-one functionality. You can extend. You can extend via the external GPU that they sell, right? All those things you can do on that. There's a lot of options there. Okay. We have consistently over 100 tonight. This was impromptu. I wasn't really expecting much. Any idea when or if ASUS will make a dual screen laptop with the AMD chip? That's a good question. I don't know. They just did. There's their ASUS ZenBook Duo laptop, the one with the dual displays. I looked at it at CES. They never sent me one to review, but at this point, I don't know if it's even worth it. Okay, so we got our result here. Interesting. So this is the one from the AMD Ryzen AI, 112 single core. And I could show you right here, this got 111 right there, 111. So very similar single core performance. This might go up when I update things, but not bad on this one, right? For a Core Ultra 9. So where you're seeing a much better result is going to be the multi-core on this. So that is where we stand on that. So let me take a screenshot here. Okay, let me close that. So let's take a look real quick at the camera. So let me say yes to that. It's a 1080p camera. Let's see how you can see my beautiful face. All right, so let's go here. So this is the camera. Looks pretty good, actually. Pretty real colors. I mean, the colors look pretty good. That's really nice. This is 1080p. Now, if you want all the AI, you have it all in the settings and so forth. I'm not going to get into that now. But this is what the camera looks like. I think it looks pretty good. Yes, I do need a shave, so don't remind me. I will do it. But there you go. All right, so that's that. Now what I want to do is, I don't know if we should try to open this up. Let me see what's on the bottom here. So it's probably going to have to remove these two. Yeah, there's going to be two there. There are two screws over here. So let me go get my kit. I'm kind of curious about that. So let me put this over here. These will be easily put back on. Let me keep that over there, and the other one over here, because those will pop back in. Okay, let me close this. All right, let me move this out of the way. Let me go get my iFixit kit. Let me be right back. Let me turn this off. Already getting fingerprints. Okay. So that's shutting down. So I removed these two little rubber feet there, waiting till it fully shuts down. And it looks like it's going to be, looks like T5, I guess. So let's get this. There's one, and this is a pretty long screw. So let's put that there. 2. And then let's get this one. This is the one that was under the, one of the 2 under the feet there. And there we go. Okay, so those are out. Let's get the middle ones. I need a better... Yeah, that's better. I went the next one up. I'm not sure which number that was. So these are out, and then the front ones here. Okay. Highly recommend anybody who wants to get a good kit. I would get the iFixit kit. They're not sponsored or anything here, but using it, and I tell you, I've used other cheaper knockoff brands, but they're pretty much the best. Okay, this should be the last one. Okay, hopefully this will be pretty easy. I don't know. So we got all these out. Okay, now let's try to wedge this out. There we go. Not too bad, not too bad. All right, ta-da! There you go, boom, boom. And there she is. And there you can see it. And this does have the 3 fans. There you can see the 3 fans. Now, there's your Wi-Fi card. There's a second SSD slot. And there's the one that's being occupied. So M.2 2280 on these. Wi-Fi 7 card is slotted in. Good to see that. 3 fans. 1, 2, 3. There it is. So for those that are interested, again, here is a closer look. No vapor chamber cooling in this one. I don't see anything like that. The 4090 may have it. I probably should open that one up to compare. Let's see while we have this out. It's a lot of work. Let's see. Let's remove this. Okay. 1, 2. Let me make sure this is off. So that's shutting down. This is the Intel model. So let's get these out. So where would I put these? So I'll put these on this side. Okay. It's basically the same, but we'll see what the internals. I'm curious to see about the vapor chamber. I believe that should be in the 4090 version. Isn't this fun watching me open these things up? I'm being facetious here. as we have over 100 of you watching, tuning into a man opening this stuff up. I mean, how interesting could that be, to be honest? Okay. So those are all the screws on this one. Let's try to open this one up here. Very easy on this one as well. So we'll put this one on the right and this one on the left. Okay, so there's the difference right there. On the left is the vapor chamber cooling. Right there, this is the 4090. And on the left, on the right is the vapor chamber cooling. On the right is without. And that's the difference right there. So this third fan here, I don't know, is that a fan underneath here? Under this vapor chamber? I don't know. But that's what it is. It should be illegal to use a third fan instead of vapor chamber on lower models because that expensive laptop, even on the lower configurations. So this third fan is only on the non-vapor chamber from what I understand, right? Am I reading that correctly? This doesn't have that third fan because it has the vapor chamber versus this. Again, 4090, 4070. But that's the story here. So what do you think? Folks? All right. So I don't know. I mean, we're at an hour and a half, more than an hour and a half. We've opened it up. Let's put it back. I want to hear the sound, and I think we can call it a day. So let me start putting these back in. Shouldn't take me that long. Hopefully not. Make sure everything snaps back into place. Okay. Okay, that's one. This is the second one of the two screws that go underneath those feet. Two. Three. Kind of wish this had the vapor chamber instead of that third fan. I kind of agree with that. Wait, I think I did the wrong one. Hold on. This one goes there. So you got to keep the screws in order. Yeah. Otherwise, you can screw yourself up. No pun intended. No pun intended. Okay. As long as they didn't short anything out, we should be good. Now the front screws, and then we should be good to go on this one. I got to tell you, it's a pretty nice build quality. Last one on this one. Okay, this one is done. Let me put those feet back on. I think they go sideways. I forget. There we go. That's one. Two. Boom. This one is done. Let's quickly do this one. Snap it back into place. Kind of a laptop surgery, silence in the room. Yes, a lot of concentration needed. Very delicate surgery at hand. Okay, let's put this one back in here. One. This one goes at the end here. There we go. That's two. Now these are the two that go under the feet. Why they put the feet, I don't know. But they do. And they're easily put back on, so it's not a big deal. Watching the stream and playing not a power-hungry game on the Yoga Pro 9 is silent, happy about my new purchase. Okay. There you go. Just chill here, huh? SSD speed test. Are the SSD the same on each unit? That's a good question. Oh, this one is not this one. This one goes in the middle. This one goes here, I think. Yeah. And this one goes here. Yeah, we can do the SSD test. We can test the SSDs. I don't want to make it too long, William. I know I didn't do that. I usually do that. I'm expecting fast, you know, but we'll see. This one's almost done, and we can get rocking and rolling with that. Two more. Shit. Almost lost my screwdriver. Live and in person. All right, there we go. Finally, all done. Put these 2 feet back on. Okay. Boom, done. Oh, a lot of work for you guys. Hope you do appreciate it. I'm sure you do, but all right. Done. So as long as I didn't short circuit anything, I think we're okay. Now, one thing you'll notice here, the fingerprints. Okay, let's open this one up. Okay. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. Great technician. Greatest technician that ever lived. Okay, I like that. I like that. All right. Good face recognition on both. Okay, let's go to crystal disc mark. Well, this one I think I already did. So let's let me see. I should have it here. So on this one, we got some really good reads and writes. You could probably see it here. So 7,100 plus 6,500 plus writes. So that's pretty good. Let me go to Crystal Disk Mark. Let me download. It's this little program. It's not a big program. Crystal Disk Mark. Downloads. Okay. Here we go. And I like that, the 240 hertz. It's pretty good. You've been in the market, Denise. Okay. Looking for a laptop. You're still on the 2007 Dell XPS 17 running dual boot Windows and Linux. Wow. You need to upgrade, huh? Okay. So that one had a 2 terabyte drive, by the way. And let's open that up. All right, let's take a look at the speeds here. This is a 1 terabyte. So 2 terabytes, 1 terabyte. Let's do this. This one, I already did it, so you can see it there. Yeah, not as fast. I could tell you right off the bat. That's interesting. And guess who showed up? Our good friends at McAfee, all the way from hell. John McAfee reared his ugly head. So the randoms don't matter. The sequential, you don't care what the sequential is. Only the random matters. Interesting. So hopefully we'll get some good random speeds. Wonder. Could only dream of this. Well, this one's pretty good. This one I'm a little disappointed, although this one is a 2 terabyte. This is a 1 terabyte. Let me see. Let me go to the device manager here and see which drive they're using here. So they're using a NVMe HF S002E J9X101N. So I don't know who makes it HF. Is that Hynix maybe? Let me see if I can look at the... yeah, I don't know who makes that one. But it's fast. I didn't bring out the ProArt. So here's the ProArt. I scratched the lid, by the way. You can see it. That was by accident. My camera scratched it. You could see it there. Sorry, ASUS, if you're watching. But it was my fault. I did that. Oh, that's gorgeous. So, okay, so here's the difference. You can see here. So they are, don't mind my studio lights, but this is at 240 hertz. This is 60 hertz. But this one is a 4K plus, 3840 by 2400. It also has touch layer. You don't have a touch layer on this one. And that's the difference there. You can see this is a little taller here, but not much. Footprint-wise, you're looking at almost about the same between these two. So, interesting. It should definitely be never be allowed to be installed. They should be Linux ready. I believe they are, but again, I'd have to double check that. But don't quote me on that. I don't know. So far as reads and writes, so on this one we got, let's see. So this has 2 SSDs, right? So on one of them, I got 5,031 reads, and then I got 3960 writes. And that's on the C drive. And then on the D drive, 3570 and 3492. So not the fastest. This is definitely faster, although not much faster. This is 4983 and 3624 on the right. So the fastest is going to be the Intel-based one back there for the ROG G16. It might make a difference if you go with you can upgrade. That's the beauty of it, right? Something you can't do with the Mac. You can upgrade these SSDs. So AR, that might make the difference. So look at the random. I know we were talking about random earlier. Who was saying that? Yeah, SK Hynix, right. So the random is 437 here. The random on this one was really good, 513 and 221. Here's 437 and 393. So you can see that there. So that's pretty interesting right there. So you can see the difference there. The random on that one is 389 back there, 460 writes. So 389 reads, 460 writes. So there you go. So the SSD on the ProArt, and I think I couldn't figure that one out. Let's go to the device manager. They were using two different ones here. A Western Digital, and I don't remember which one is which, and then an MTFD. Does anybody know who MTFD is? MTFD DKB T0QFM. I don't know who makes that. But the second one is a Western Digital PC SN740 and a bunch of other numbers there. You can see it here. If you want to pause that or whatever. But those are the drives. And again, upgradable. Yeah, no idea myself. I don't know who made that second drive there. All right. I really hope that the new the low speeds are not a bug of the new AMD platform and their new UEFI firmware. I don't know. Maybe there needs to be a firmware update. I don't know. We'll have to find out. We did get over 100 likes, so that's good. I think we're going to call it here because there's so much more I have to do to test these. Look at the fingerprints on this. Wow. It really does collect fingerprints. Oh, and there's that, what do you call that thing? The animation bar or whatever, the Animotion bar or whatever. Forgot the name of it. Not as bad as years past, but it's there. You could turn that off. Pretty good. Okay. Oh, it's Micron. Thank you, Vacherinsky. Micron. Okay, good to know that. All right, so we figured that mystery out, but I want to thank the moderators. You did a great job. There are more things I got to test on here. This just scratches the surface of this, but a good turnout tonight. I want to thank everybody who contributed via the Super Chat, also the great comments and questions. And yeah, this will annoy everybody in the meetings, that's for sure. The annoy everybody in the meeting bar right here. Okay, folks, enough is enough, right? You want to go, I want to go. Time to eat dinner. Have a great rest of your Sunday. And if it's Monday by you, good morning, whatever. Have a great week, and I'll see you soon. Got a lot of stuff, so make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you hit that notification bell. Until next time, everybody, see you in the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.